the chimney and leaves as gifts. All these stories and others like them are an attempt by the world to make up for the lack of color that this time of year has if you do not understand and receive the true story of Christmas. Because the true story of Christmas doesn't need any extra gloss because it is glorious, because the truth is glorious. As Christians we know who the glory of Christmas is. We know that Jesus is the glory of Christmas and his story truly gives color and light to our lives. The world tries to reflect joy in this time. Most people around us look forward to this time of year because it is a time of celebration and being joyful. But at the same time, and being realistic, many of us may be camouflaging or avoiding attending to our true internal experience behind all the celebration. Some of us may be experiencing confusion, distress or fear. Some of us are living in constant fear as around us people prepare to celebrate these days. Maybe you fear for your economic situation or that of the country. Do you fear for your health or the health of someone close to you? Do you fear the insecurity around you? Do you fear for your relationship with your spouse or your children? Are you afraid of failing again next year like you did this year? Are you afraid of being alone? Do you fear that you won't be able to abandon those bad habits that continue to enslave you? If you were in a situation like those mentioned, what would you require to have peace on this day? What could give you peace of mind? What could change your anguish into sure joy? Hundreds of years ago, a small group of men were told these words. Do not be afraid. And the good news they were told next took their lives from fear to joy. The historical truth that was communicated to you can also continue to lead lives from fear to joy. In the Gospel of Luke 2 we are told the following. In that same region there were some shepherds who spent the night in the field, taking turns tending their flocks. It happened that an angel of the Lord appeared to them. The glory of the Lord enveloped them in its light, and they were filled with fear. Luke 2, 8-9 In Christmas illustrations or depictions, shepherds are seen as attractive characters, but let me tell you something about shepherds. Pastors in those times did not enjoy very good acceptance either religiously or socially, as the nature of their work was to be basically absent from religious life most of the time. They did not comply with the rituals, festivals and other types of ceremonies, so they were seen as not religiously acceptable people. They also did not enjoy a good reputation socially. In court they were not allowed to be witnesses. The word of a shepherd in those days did not have much credibility. Also, imagine spending all day taking care of a herd of smelly animals outdoors. The shepherds were not the kind of people you would perhaps invite to your Christmas dinner tonight. When a shepherd working passed by you, he couldn't go unnoticed. Anyway, the pastors were the most unexpected people to receive this announcement. The last thing you would do is think about giving this announcement to the pastors. His work was simple, routine, without much challenge. That night they were doing what they were supposed to do, guard their flocks at night. But suddenly something totally out of the ordinary and strange happened. An angel of the Lord appeared to them and the glory of the Lord shone around them and they had great fear. Any person would have been shaken by such an experience, not only because of the angel, but the glory of the Lord surrounded them with radiance. Moses experienced something like this when he stood before the burning bush. Isaiah had a similar experience in the temple. You cannot stand before the glory of God without being filled with fear. That is why it is no wonder that they had great fear before this heavenly vision. Before saying anything else, the angel tells them, do not be afraid, do not fear. This initial message is a constant throughout the entire Christmas story. They said to Zechariah, do not be afraid. They said to Joseph, do not be afraid. They said to Mary, do not be afraid. They also told the shepherds, do not be afraid. And then, it gives them the key to dispel their fear. He tells them why instead of fear or panic, they should have exuberant joy and tells them,